So let's move to application, and kindly in this application I will not do anything. I will just guide you, and I want your help to highlight what is important and what is not. So I have a sentence here: كان علي الانتظار كل هذا الوقت فأصبت بالملل. I just help you in composing the two ideas. I had to wait for a long time. This bored me. Would you please help me make it just one sentence? It's here. So Hamada says something here: waiting for a long time bored me. This is one thing. Waiting, I don't, it's capital. So waiting for a long time bored me. This is so good. So where is the subject? Waiting for a long time. Bored me, this is the verb, and this is the object. This is one sentence. However, we can say that this wanting is a clause. Yes, it's a clause. It's not just a verb. It's a clause. But this clause was originally like the following: I had to wait for a long time bored me. This is a different way to express the same thing. And then I may use this clause, like convert it and make it something different, saying having to wait, or having had to wait for a long time bored me. This is a different way. I may use something different. I may say it bored me that I had to wait for a long time. So what I'm doing right now, I just have these two ideas. I'm giving you a brief example and different methods, different ways of expressing the same thing. Is it clear? Before going on, because it's so important, I want to add more information. If you understand this, if you don't understand it, I may not be able to build upon it. Yeah, incredible. Thank you, Asar. And I will appreciate if you just participate with me here. So the second one is ينصح برؤية طبيب الأسنان مرتين في السنة. I know this seems like voice over, but it's not. So let's make this sentence. ينصح برؤية طبيب الأسنان مرتين في السنة. Would you help me?
It's advised to visit the dentist 2 times a year.
So I will write what I think I got. It's advisable that...
Hey.
Sorry?
It's advised.
It's advised. Let's write it and then we will make sure if it's correct. It's advised to see the dentist twice a year, 2 times a year. So I may say, for example, to see the dentist twice a year is advised or advisable. I may say something different, and this is the only time, or maybe the only time, that I will help you in this. That you see the dentist twice a year is advisable. Seeing the dentist twice a year is advisable. So let me check the chat. It's recommended to visit the dentist twice a year. Thank you. This is also correct. But to make it clear, when I ask you about the different ways, we will use the same words, almost the same words, but different structures. And I want you to make it more organized in your mind. If I'm going to start a clause, if I'm going to start a sentence, so the first thing that comes up to my mind, the most and the easiest one. That I had to wait for a long time. This is a nominal clause. This is a finite clause. I have the subject. And then let me ask myself a question. Can I convert this finite clause into a non-finite one? Yes. I may say, having had to wait for a long time bored me. What did I do here? I just made this in the ing form and completed the sentence. Having had to wait for a long time bored me. Okay, let me ask you or myself a different question. Can I use something different here? That I had to wait for a long time bored me. I did something different. It bored me that I had to wait for a long time. What did I do? This is the question. I used one thing and I did two steps. The first step is using it as a dummy subject. We call this a dummy subject or a dummy it. That's so obvious. And then I did something called extra possession. What is the extra possession? The extra possession process is defined as follows. Giving the subject the final position in a sentence and using the word it as the subject of the new sentence. So this is the subject that I had to wait for a long, it's extra possession. That I had to wait for a long time, I moved this to the last position or the final position of the sentence. What about the beginning? I used the word it. So this process called extra possession. This is so important. Just keep it in your mind if you want to go and further read about the topic. Let's move to the next part. That you see the dentist twice a year is advisable. This is a finite clause. Can I make it non-finite? Yes. I just use the ing form. Seeing the dentist twice a year is advisable. Can I make it non-finite one in a different way? Yes, I will use the infinitive form instead of the ing. Remember, I told you that when I'm going to talk about the non-finite, I have three options: ing, en, and infinitive. But this doesn't mean that you have the three options in all the sentence that you may come across. So sometimes you have only one option to use. It's grammatical to use this. Sometimes you have two options. Sometimes you have three options. And all of them are correct. So that's the point. After making it infinitive, I may use the extra possession that I explained right now. It's advised or advisable to see the dentist twice a year. So now when you see a sentence that's similar to this, you understand that this is not the true subject. And actually you understand why it's called dummy subject. It's not the true one. The true subject of the sentence is here, to see the dentist. This is the original one. I just moved something. And again here, when if I'm going to talk about the theme and rhyme, you may ask me a question. These sentences are not the same. So the meaning is slightly different between each one and the other. So this means that it's up to you. You are the translator, you are the composer, you are the writer. You're the only one who can decide which sentence to be used in your context. You're the only one who can decide which meaning you want to convey. Let's move to something different. I have here this sentence. اطلي الباب بأي لون تريد.
Okay, so we can say paint the door with whatever color you want.
Again, please. Paint the door.
With whatever color you want.
Thank you. Whatever color you want. This is so nice. Abdullah, kindly before you mute yourself, just help me analyze this sentence. This is the verb, right? Paint the door in any color you desire. Yes, thank you, Rihab. Paint the door with the color you want. We have different and a lot of ways to express the same thing, but the question is, I want to analyze the sentence. Remember, this is transformational grammar. So help me just analyze it. The word paint is the verb. The door is the object, as Hamada said. And then I have here a clause. This clause is whatever color you want. So whatever color you want. What is the type of this clause? This clause? This is adverbial. I'm afraid it's not. And I'm sorry, I regret it's not. It's not adverbial clause here because it doesn't express anything of the adverbial function. It doesn't express time, for example, or reason, or manner.
Hey, come on! This is Here I will be in another place with you. Because I don't know what is the meaning of adverbial. What I have studied, what I know, it's called adjunct. So I can omit it with the sentence, and the sentence will be correct without it. So I can tell you been to the door without continuing saying anything. So I said to you adverbial, as you mentioned that at the beginning, that the function of adverbial as adjunct. So it can be omitted, but the meaning will not be affected. So I said adjunct. I said adverbial, but what I know in my mind is adjunct. I don't know. This.
So I will make it clear. It's not about the correct answer or not. I'm not criticizing you. What I mean here, adverbial function. We can discuss this adverbial function in like a separate session because it has a lot of information deep within it. An adverbial can be a disjunct, a conjunct, like a disjunct and conjunct and something else that I can't remember right now. It depends on the meaning of it. However, at the very beginning of the session, I said that the adverbial is not mandatory, or I think you said this word. It's not it's not obligatory to use it. This doesn't mean that it's not obligatory in all sentences. Sometimes you have to use it, and sometimes you may not use it. Okay, this is the first thing. The second point is, yes, I can omit this one and say paint the door, period. Paint the door, full stop. That's it. Okay, paint the door whatever color you want. Let me explain it by just asking a question. Whatever color you want, this clause, is it a nominal clause or adverbial? This is not the question, because I think this is confusing. Is it a finite or non-finite?
Whatever color you want?
Yes.
It's finite.
Thank you. The subject is expressed or suppressed?
It's expressed.
Thank you. So this is so obvious. The final question, and I hope that this question will help all of you to get the answer. Whatever color of you, this clause describes something. It refers to something. It refers to a word. So whatever color of you, it describes the door, right?
Yeah.
Can I make it a different sentence and say, paint the door red? If I ask you about the function of the word red here, will you give me the answer and say, this is an adverbial? You will not say it, because this is an object complement. What is an object complement? It's a word that describes the object itself of a sentence. We call it an object complement. Do you remember the subject complement? It's a word that describes the subject. He is hungry. The word hungry describes the subject, which is he. So that's why we call it a subject complement. Do you remember this sentence? Red, it describes the door, the object. That's why we call it an object complement. And I just replaced this word red with a full clause saying whatever color you want. And this gives me the answer that whatever color you want is a nominal clause functioning as an object complement. The question, why is it nominal? Why isn't it adverbial? Because you can replace it with a noun. Just one word. So do you remember the definition of the nominal clause? A nominal clause is something that occurs in a position that is typical of a noun. It may be a subject, it may be a subject complement, it may be an object complement. Thank you. Add details to word door. The door is object, so it's an object complement. You can read the comment of Hamada in the chat, it will help a lot. ليس واضحا إذا كنت تحب عملك. So we want to use if and whether in this sentence. I hope that I go through much. If you like your work isn't obvious. So I will write what Hamada said here. I will take it copy and then let's paste it. Thank you. If you like your work isn't obvious. Actually, I'm sorry, but I cannot start a sentence with if. If you like your work, this is supposed to be the subject of the sentence, and it's a nominal clause since it's the subject, so it's a nominal clause, not adverbial clause. And the nominal clause here has the function of the subject. However, it's not correct to start with if. What shall I do? I have different options here. I can start with whether you like your work is not obvious. So it's only a matter of grammar. I can't use if, but I can use whether. However, do I have a different solution? Yes, Athar, thank you. It's not clear if you love your work. That's the point. What Athar did right now is using it as the dummy subject and giving the subject a final position, and this is called extra position. We just applied what we learned right now. So I can't start with if. Can I answer the question? Why can't I start with if? Actually, I don't know. This is grammar. Somehow grammar doesn't give us the chance to explain everything. So if you like your work isn't obvious, this is not correct. Can I work around this? Yes, I can. It's not clear if you work you're obvious. It's not obvious if you work you work. That's the point. I think I just made something different. So يؤسفني أن فلانا خسر المباراة. He lost the game. I regret that. So would you help me? I will help you and then you go on. Thank you, Hamada. Okay. I regret that he lost the game. That he lost the game is a nominal clause starting with that. And what is the function of this nominal clause? So I have a clause here, and this clause is a direct object. It's a direct object, or at least object. And then I can say I regret his losing the game. What did I do? I just made it like a non-finite clause. Non-finite. How could I make a finite one into a non-finite one? It saddens me that he lost the game. Thank you. This is also correct. And Rahab also has a different way here. It saddens me, which means يؤسفني أو يحزنني أنه خسر المباراة. It saddens me that he lost the game. And actually, Rahab used the extra position. She started the sentence with it. So I think now you understand what does it mean to say it's necessary, or it's necessary in the British accent. It's obvious, it's clear, it's difficult, it's suggested. All this is extra position, extraposed clause. You started with the dummy subject, but the true subject is yet to come at the end of the sentence. That's the whole point. So, in order not to forget, what are the steps here? The first step is using genitive, and the second step is ing insertion. Again, would you explain this more? Yes, of course. So, I used the genitive here in the word his, and then I made the verb lost in the ing form. So, I made it like this: he's losing the game. By this way, I made the finite clause into a non-finite clause. Which type of non-finite clause is that? It's an ing clause. That's the point. كان الناس يعتقدون أن الأرض مسطحة. People believed that the earth was flat. Let's try to work around this sentence and to make it different. ازاي ممكن اغير الجملة دي؟ ببساطة شديدة الاول لازم اقول لنفسي ان الجملة دي clause. الكلوز ده nominal clause. الفانكشن بتاعته ايه؟ object. دي حاجة. طيب finite ولا non finite؟ هو finite. هاخد جملة رحاب. شكرا لان الجملة دي حلوة جدا. رحاب قالت I think هي الجملة مش كاملة عندي. The earth was believed to be flat. Yes. I think yes that's correct. بس قبل ما اروح لجملة رحاب عاوز اقول لكم حاجة. انا ممكن اقول مثلا people believed the earth to be flat. هبقى صح ولا مش صح؟ اعتقد هبقى صح. طب ايه اللي حصل؟ اللي حصل ان الكلوز او النومينال كلوز اللي هي الاوبجكت هنا في الحالة ديت حولتها من finite لنون finite. طب حولتها ازاي؟ خليتها infinitive ازاي؟ بتو ستيبس. استخدمت the marker to وبعدين خليتها في الانفينيتيف فورم. infinitivalization it's called infinitivalization، ان انا اخلي الفيرب او الفعل في صيغة المصدر بتاعه. بعدين رحاب عملت حاجة actually الخطوة اللي رحاب عملتها هي الخطوة رقم 3 مش رقم 2. راحت ماسكة الجملة بتاعت the earth وحطتها في الأول وكملت الجملة عادي. احنا بس عاوزين نفهم ايه اللي حصل. اللي بيحصل يا جماعة كالتالي، هسألكم السؤال، كلمة earth هنا ايه الفانكشن بتاعتها؟ يعني هي subject ولا verb ولا object ولا complement ولا adverbial؟ الطبيعي ان انتوا تقولوا لي ان كلمة earth هي السبجكت، بس انهي subject؟ بتاع الكلوز دي، بتاع النومينال كلوز، وساعتها ده كلام صح 100%. بتوع النحو بيقولوا لنا ان خلي بالك ان كلمة earth اللي هي الارض لما بتتحول مع بعض الافعال زي الفعل believe في الحالة بتاعتنا هنا هي كانت السبجكت بتاع الجملة، بس لما حضرتك حولتها من finite لنون finite بقت الاوبجكت. ايه ده؟ يعني ايه بقت الاوبجكت؟ في الواقع هي ستيل سبجكت بتاع الكلوز ديت، بس هي تحولت بقدرة قادر كده الى الاوبجكت بتاع الفيرب ده، the surface object we call it like this the surface object of believe. ففي المظهر وفي البنية بتاعتها هي تعتبر الاوبجكت. طب عشان ما نبقاش بنقول اي كلام او بنقول اي كلام من اي يعني مكتوب وخلاص، ممكن حضرتك تدلل لي وتديني دليل قاطع ان كلمة the earth اللي هي كانت السبجكت هنا تعتبر الاوبجكت هنا؟ الدليل هو اللي رحاب عملته. على فكرة احنا درسنا قبل كده في بداية القواعد ان عشان تحول الجملة من مبني للمعلوم لمبني للمجهول بتجيب المفعول به او الاوبجكت اللي فيها وتخليه هو السبجكت وبعدين تبدأ تبني الجملة. وعلى فكرة هو ده اللي حصل. رحاب جابت الكلمة اللي هي بقت مفعول اصلا وحطتها في الاول وبعدين صرفت verb to be على حسب التنس، وهنا طبعا التنس ماضي، وبعدين حطت بقية الكلام زي ما هو بالظبط. دلوقتي ده دليل قاطع طالما الجملة دي correct او جملة صحيحة، ده دليل قاطع ان ده كان object وبقى السبجكت في الباسيف فورم. اللي انا عملته هنا اسمه passivization، ان انا خليت الجملة passive، والpassivization هنا هو الدليل على اللي حصل ده. طيب البروسيس اللي حصلت دي وبتحصل في افعال كتير جدا اسمها ايه؟ اسمها subject raising. اسمها subject raising. هي بتتسمى كده لان في ترانسفورميشنز كتيره انا مش هلحق ان انا اناقشها كلها معاكم، بس انا بديكم بس بوينتس. البوينتس دي ممكن تفتح حاجات معينه عندكم تروحوا تقروا عن الموضوع، لان اكيد الكراش كورس او السيشن ديت مش بتهدف انها تشرح كل شيء. الموضوع طويل جدا وفي معلومات كتير جدا. خليني بما ان احنا وصلنا للنقطه دي من السيشن اقول لكم حاجه او افكركم بحاجه، وهي انا تاني بفكركم الهدف من كل الكلام ده عشان ممكن حد مثلا يفكر طب ما احنا يعني عارفين كتير من الحاجات دي وحاجات تانية اكيد مش عارفينها، في جمل ممكن نصيغها وكنا فاكرين انها صح وفي الواقع هي مش صحيحة. الهدف ان انا اخد الكلام اللي موجود في اللاوعي عندكم او عندنا كلنا واخرجه للعقل الواعي. ليه؟ عشان وانت بتكتب تبقى عارف، وانت بتعمل تدقيق لغوي تبقى عارف، يبقى عندك على الاقل السبب انا ليه كتبت الجملة دي وليه ينفع اكتبها. فدلوقتي انتوا فاهمين لما اقول مثلا the situation was reported to be quiet، انت فاهم الجملة دي كان معناها ايه؟ انت فاهم ان مثلا the police reported the situation to be quiet، بعد كده حولتها كانت اصلها the police reported that the situation is or was quiet. انت بتعرف تستخدم different structures of the same sentence، يبقى انت بتعرف تعمل paraphrasing، دي في حد ذاتها وظيفة تقدر تعملها. طيب انا حطيت لكم هنا مجموعة من الافعال اللي بتنطبق عليها الامثلة اللي احنا ناقشناها من شوية دي كلها، وهي باختصار شديد ان انا عندي شوية افعال هنا. هي راحت فين؟ هنا بيقول لي ان الافعال ديت verb transitive يعني افعال متعدية، هيجي وراها مفعول به او direct object، بس خلي بالك ان الدايركت اوبجكت ده هيبقى في صيغة الجيرنديف كلوز. جيرنديف يعني ايه؟ يعني ing. الاي ان جي بيبقى اسمها جيرنديف او جيرنديل. فالافعال دي كلها امثلة على الكلام ده. فانا طبعا مش هحط امثله على كل الكلمات، انتوا ممكن تبحثوا في القاموس وهتعرفوها كلها بالامثله بتاعتها. هديك بس مثالين او عشان نوضح فكره معينه. I dislike him driving my car. هحط قوس هنا وقوس في نهايه الجمله كده عشان بس اقول لك ان الكلوز ديت هي النومينال كلوز اللي الوظيفه بتاعتها object او المفعول به. نوعها ايه؟ يعني ينفع اقول I dislike that؟ ما ينفعش. طب ده دليل على الكلام اللي انا قلته من شويه، مش كل الجمل طبعا ينفع ان انا اخليها في صيغه في الفاينايت وفي النون فاينايت واستخدم معاها ذات واستخدم اي ان جي واستخدم الاي ان او اللي هو التصريف الثالث الستراكشر بتاعه واستخدم الانفينيتيف. انا قلت لكم من شويه ان الموضوع احيانا بيبقى اجباري مش اختياري. ففي الحاله ديت كلمه ديسلايك مثال من الامثله اللي هنا. طب امال ايه الافعال اللي تحتها خط دي؟ الافعال اللي تحتها خط دي بيقول لك انك ما ينفعش تستخدم اي فعل منهم مع الفاعل بتاعه. يعني ايه؟ انا مش بحب ان هو يسوق سيارتي. هو مين اللي بيسوق؟ هو him او his. السبجكت معلوم على فكرة، وان كان في صيغة الاوبجكتيف او في صيغة الجينيتيف، بس هو يعتبر السبجكت. طب ينفع اقول I enjoy him driving my car؟ ده مش صحيح، مفيش حاجة اسمها كده. اشمعنى؟ هي كده الفعل enjoy زي بقية الافعال اللي تحتها خط ما ينفعش يتحط ومعاه subject للكلوز اللي بعديه. لازم تحذف him وتقول I enjoy driving my car ويبقى معناها ان انا بستمتع بقيادة سيارتي.